Okay, good late morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader at TradeView Markets, starting off on a Monday morning. First Monday, is it the first Monday in March? It's whatever. We're into March. Okay, now this is going to be a complicated week. As you know, on Monday, I put the most amount of data, so I'm just going to run through you things quickly as I sign in, and I sign in just the same as everybody else. Okay, I want to make a couple of points here. Because instead of as we get more and more viewers, I would implore everybody to go to our red YouTube channel button. And if you missed something, if you saw my screen, you want it went by too quickly. That's one of the better amenities. Not does it give you a dossier of Coach and I and everybody in the room's methods. You just get to know what we do and how you do it. You know what I mean? So. Go back. If you missed anything, please go back. So I go back to the Monday morning routine. A couple of things as the market has finally broken above that. Oh, you know what? Larry put it well. Larry put it well. Okay. Good morning to everybody else. The chart in the S&P macro view. We're going to the 21-day now. That's the short-term kind of swing trade, if you will. XLE off the lean charts. As I said, the Dow has been holding stocks. The Dow is what's been keeping the market up. Now it's actually the NASDAQ that some of the Dow stocks are acting a little bit of funky. Okay, XME charts, listen, they're all self-explanatory. And these charts with, going back longer term and with the thickness of the marker, as you could tell, sometimes it could be a difference of maybe 1 to 5%. Just to give you a picture of where we are, on a macro view. It just, it's like it's for cocktail conversations. As I say, a lot of charts I usually wind up zooming in, but that's on a macro view where we are, like the dollar as well. Everything's basically been teetering within a channel within that range of what's been teetering, if that makes sense. And it should for those that follow the markets closely. New stocks, new highs, lean put call ratio. That was on Friday, by the way. And no surprise, we're up today. Okay, always watch the videos, TLT failed breakdown, macro market view again. But I wanted to point this, Larry, who we've been probably, well, I'm not going to shortchange anybody else. Coaches had some esteemed guests, but I'm not going to shortchange Larry. He's one of them. So the QQQ and the evidence in today's confirmed the bullish 1040. Pardon me, this is for more of a macro trend. So keep that in mind. OIH doing the same thing. Pardon me, I wanted to point that out again. Now, even if you're bearish, and I'm going to jump ahead again, because one of the biggest bears on the street right now, who is, and this is helping put the market a little bit. I actually thought they would sell into it. Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson. Now, Morgan Stanley giddy up. Morgan Stanley holds water for me. Still, one of the brokerage firms that I actually give Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan probably more credence than Goldman. No joke. Okay. Morgan Stanley's Mike Wilson, the biggest bear out there. Besides last year's biggest bull, JP Morgan's Marko Kolanovic says, pivoted on the short-term outlook for U.S. stocks, saying the rally may have room to run. Equity market survived the crucial test of support. Now, he was calling for a 20% pullback, even if it was a 5% pullback. And I bring that up and to jump ahead for a reason. Going back to bar chart, don't put the common name. Just, it's a very, very good site that I use actively, and I'm sure everybody that follows me should and does as well. Square, typical. Okay, I'm gonna have to make a sale here. What's going on? All right, good, nicely. Okay, we short UAL, giddy up. Okay, is that this? Even if you're bearish, you can't deny the fact that was a sweet bounce off the 200-day for the S&P, and that's sure surge right through the 50-day. Basically, everybody's been saying the same thing in a roundabout way. And you know what? Price action trumps sentiment. You don't have to really read it. I mean, if you're not good at charting, you could visibly see it by the charting. And I'm not going to jump ahead. I'll get there in a second. But basically, by a qualitative view, meaning reading, it's right there. Walmart insider sold $2 billion of stock. Now that's interesting to me, considering I think don't the Waltons aren't they maybe like 4 of the top 20 richest people in the world. I haven't heard that they're buying a sports team or anything, so I don't know if it's not acting that good. Walmart. I'll get to it again. I have to write that down, make sure I get to the chart. So keep that in mind. Keep this in mind for all you binary players. Is the XBI still is shockingly lagging. Interesting data in March. Write it down. Which one do I play? ALT I like. BBIO. Look at BBIO today. It's one of the biggest winners. They already had the data. Viking Therapeutics. I like that as well. Okay. Hi, Mike. Good morning. Lewis, hope you had a nice weekend. Big week. I like when Lewis signs on. I need him. Not to be dramatic. Always economic data releases for the week on Mondays, and always give you the earnings plays on Mondays. There it is. Tweet it. What do you have to do? What do they call it thing? Copy it, pin it or something. Okay, right there. This was interesting. I wanted to point that, and this is on Yahoo. Look at this article. Not that Yahoo is like, it's kind of like the New York Post, but the stock market fades come down to the next 13 trading section, because there's those that you want to read about a Yahoo Finance move. Now, I'm not saying Yahoo isn't necessarily stock twits. It's not, but if they think that 13 days is going to be, I beg to differ, but that's out there. Okay. IBD specialist, this is what really matters. Forget about Yahoo, the big money, top performing funds, buys and sells. Punch it up. This is what they're doing. That's the smart money. And what we really do here also at TradeGATEHub is I go by buys and sells, and then I always go by this option flow. We're a little cooked on the upside. They're like Apple, bearish. They're going to June 23 puts. I'm not sure about that. Somebody's trying to pick the bottom on Boyle on bullish. Thank God we sold that thing. There's Boyle. Boyle from 8 to 580. How you doing? Man, that hurts. You know what? Those triple ATFs are only good for day trading. I'm telling you. You score every once in a while, but believe me, it's like a bookie's dream. I'd like to take a lot of the VIX too. Okay, IBD, read it. Ted, top IPO leaders, top some of the next biggest winners will come for these lists, and it's the IBD leaders list. These are some of the new leaders. Nerds, look at the chart. Am I on the right thing? Look at the chart on Nerds. I was never called a Nerds because I'm not a Nerds, but check out the chart on Nerds. Look at Nerds. I brought it up in the room the past 2 weeks every single day, only because I'm not in and I'm upset. But relative strength, still not overbought. Has the gap here. Let's see what happens. But that's an IPO, a new leader. Maybe if Nerds reports earnings and it goes down and gaps down like this AEHR did after earnings and pulls this thing, I wouldn't be surprised. Keep Nerds out. It's a hot stock. Nerd wallet. Nerds have the most money, don't they? So I guess the idea is to try to steal a wallet, not even keep it in the wallet. All right. This is basically, everybody's been saying this just a different way, 1,000 different ways. And this, I've been joking with Wally Deemer. He's one of the best, but the bearish case is based on fundamentals and economic data. And everything else in the bullish case is even sentiment is pointed towards technicals. Okay. Who's winning right now? This says it right here. The percentage of large cap stocks over their moving averages. Look how many stocks and industries are above their 5-day. I'm not green, high green, dark green, which is in the 90s. 20-day, it's a little bit skewed. So that means 5-day, the market had a nice bounce. 20-day, we're a little under pressure, but 200-day and going out more, it's skewed again. And what does it really say, everyone? Not to be corny, stock picking. So that's what we should be worried about. And by the way, it's a lot easier to stock pick than call the market. Intel CEO has been purchasing shares. Check that out. AI was negative, went positive today. Weekly panic euphoria. Some of these things are weekly, not daily. Is also the sentiment weekly, not daily. Go over them. Hedge funds exposure. They puked and sold a little bit bullish. Goldman sold a little bit, getting a little bit more bullish. Short-term sentiment. We're up today. So you know what? As it approaches the middle of the Monday or late Monday morning, I wouldn't be surprised if stocks started. If they might rotate. But the winners might start to take a little bit of profits because of this 5-day push that I just said before. All right, a couple of important stocks on the calendar. Stocks over the moving averages. As I said before, Morgan Stanley. Good morning for Austria. Good morning from England. Lewis is in Peru. Coach is in San Diego. I'm in New York, if you can't tell by the dialect. So we started cranking early. Paul trading the dollar very well, or the pound, but he has been trading the dollar. All right, Coach posting some things. I'm posting things. You have to be in the room. This is my last important macro point I want to make. Zero hedges, sharp as they come. He said this, the rally will, a week ago, the rally won't end until Wilson and Marco turn bullish. Wilson of Morgan Stanley turned bullish. That's one down. As soon as Marco throws it in and says we're good, and maybe the hedge funds start nibbling back again, that would be time to where I would be taking cautious. I wouldn't say I'd be laying the board out short, but I'd be taking profits on things that aren't acting well at that time. Sienna, nice number. Apple, Goldman initiated as a buy. BBIO, I mentioned it before, is one of those binary bio stocks that reported, and one of them happened today. You wanted to gamble and you played it. The stock closed at 11 and it opened at 19. Nice to, nice trade. The binary move went up to 80% or whatever it did, give or take a 10%. Always give you movers and always give you upgrades and downgrades. Here are the movers. Dan Ives, Goldman. Goldman's desk meeting this morning. We've been trading solid market. He's right. How about those pins call from yesterday? I punted pins poorly. I'm going to be very upset about that. Matter of fact, Tony Pistachio, better get out of here. I'm pissed. Pins, look at pins. I sold it like a piker. I told it at 26.80. I had a lot of shares. Maybe that's why I wasn't allocated properly. It was third day up, but the market pulled, and it did pull back a little bit. But once again, I'm like everybody. I was a piker. I pulled the dip and the rip, but that's okay because I sold other things well analogous to this. For example, I sold SU well. I don't know where SU is. Oh, SU. I sold that well. I sold that 35.79 a lot. APA I had short overnight. I covered it. The market is doing what now? It's ripping or dipping. What's going up now? Apache. Let's go to the main screen. This is what we do. Go right to the action. Okay. TTD. The stock of the day is what? One of them. Snap. The Snapify. It's got the volume, the range, the price action. And you know what? That's why I sold pins, because I didn't trust Snap. But so over the 200-day, as a lot of these stocks do that, you don't want it to close below the 200-day with that good volume. That's going to turn it. It's going to negate it. Fizzler keep going again. AI positive to negative. Great trading stock with 28 million shares and a 26.79 to 30. Good $2.50 to $2 range. Beautiful. FCX, good call, Coach. Fizzler, Tesla negative. Meta still going. Apple got the Goldman upgraded, still acting well. Once again, they did the rip and the dip, but once again, it never broke the open. That was a sharp trader would have doubled down, right when it never broke the open. Then you'd be up twice the amount of money on a Goldman upgrade, but whatever. Next, CORD had news. Square could have been someone. Square didn't act well at all. I'm short UAL, aren't I? I'm short UAL. This is a winner. I started shorting UAL at the morning, 53.10. Then I said, this is not right. 53.50. Now the stock is 53. I'm up nicely in it. What am I looking for? Never broke a new high. You know what I mean? It was acting poorly. It didn't just throw a dart. So UAL is one of the ones I'm short. Here's my screen here. Caterpillar is down. So they took some of the Dow stocks a little bit. The XLI, Home Depot, Lennar, Wynn, Boeing. Marvell had the nice move on Friday. That move, the oils, they're still taking down. When I saw the oils down this morning, I saw this happening. Microsoft now coming into a little bit of resistance as well. Coming into the 21-day, 3 days up into a gap. See how this acts? Short term, 3 days up into a gap above the moving averages, all of them. But once again, I wouldn't be surprised this pulls back to like 255. Something could happen here, something like that. You know what I mean? Shopify acting low. What's going up? A, B, and B. I could have been somebody right on the 50-day, the 21 days due at the gap. Didn't do it. Next. I have a couple of low floors that are a problem. EDU, Bill, Riven, Shopify, CFLT. I wanted to buy that one. They shook me out. Wasn't acting well either. CFLT, right then. 23 to 26. Wasn't sure. Any questions? Pins, calls. Let's go with the movers and what the wise guys are doing. He says, you know what I see? I see Procter and Gamble breaking low. Okay, below the moving average. I saw Colgate moving low. Let's go back to the Walmart chart. They're blown out at 2 billion shares. You know what I shorted? BJ. BJ. I thought it was going to. It was below when I shorted. It was below the 8-day and the 21-day. Now it's above there. So I'm gonna have to watch it. I got a little giddy. I got giddy. I pounded BJ, but my average price is what, like 7,370. It's 73.90. I saw it with Walmart. Dollar General's been acting very poorly. Costco, I came out with numbers. They're all below the moving averages. But you know what? Maybe I'd be shorting the weaker ones instead of playing the stronger one. That's not really the ideal play, maybe. Meta's still going. Riven. So let's finish what's going back here with range volume, and we'll leave you here. Economic data posted. It's stock picking. So you know what? Nobody really has to worry about calling the market. You have to worry about what? This. Live trading room. Let's go to the wise guys. Is Tony? Oh, another one. AM. Look at this one. That's why it can't. That's why the AM. I posted this on Friday. I was in it, I believe, on Friday. Hot stock wasn't oversold. Once it broke to the new high, 745 on volume. 745 on volume. Anybody that was, that's why it doesn't. That's why you have to learn your style. If you trade these type of things, normally, I mean, I have no problem trading 30, 40,000 shares of something else, but it's very, very difficult. And please, I'm open for suggestions about how to trade everything. You know, the mega caps, the low floaters, to keep about what the dollar is doing. I trade. I have to post a lot of macro information. I can't just keep posting AM of every 10 cents. But certainly this stock was one that you had to keep your eye on. And I did mention it in the room several times. And once it took out a new high, 750, buy stop. Now, where's the next price on this thing? No one knows. You have to watch for it to do a secondary, because the stock did go from 2 to 9, but you know what I mean? Stocks usually make the biggest moves at the end. Let's go to the wise guys. Crude, getting a little frothy. Maybe we'll look to fade a little bit at 80, around there. Trade only. Apple highs, Boyle bullish. Boyle, that might be covering. I have to do I'll get back on that after lunch. Snap bullish going out till March, not interested. Snap, March, not interested. They're squeezing it. Apple going out to March. Apple. See what they're doing, Boyle here? They're going out to March. That doesn't do anything for me. Square, front end calls. What a great looking stock. Even Larry liked it. I punted a little of it. I do have it in the fund, as I should, or else I should fire myself. Fitch, uber bearish. The buying in the NASDAQ growth names always resembles chasing. Almost always in short-term strikes for chasing strength. That's why I'm not interested in Snap or Boyle at this point. I want to see how they close. One thing that we've been saying, but by the way, the market closed nicely on Friday. One thing we've been saying a lot is, let's see how they close. Because one thing that I've learned or relearned is that retail, this is all retail money. And that's why I like to be active in the morning, because I have an edge over retail. I'm not going to lie. Numbers don't lie. So I get in there more aggressive. But as it comes to the end of the day at 2:00, I start building my list of stocks that have good range, solid price, or acting accordingly what they should to what I know that I look at every day according to charts. And if they close well, everybody, there's a myth, if you will, that overnighters start overnighting at like 2:15, 2:30. Maybe if I want to take, say, end up taking 10,000 shares of Apple, maybe I'll buy 10%, I'll buy 1,000 shares of Apple at 2:30. And that's when they start acting well, as it should. And then it acts well to 3:30 and 4. Then they start averaging it. Hopefully you have a mark and it opens up the next day, you move on or sell half. So the close has been very important. So I think I might be going over a little bit too long, although I did come on a little bit too late. But they have no problem, because we're going to be in the room all day long with everybody else about stocks. Stock ideas. It's a long week. Our schedule is always posted here. If you missed it, go back to the Red YouTube channel. I know I will right after I'm done here, because I'm going to go listen to Coach about his video with what he did. I'm sure, whatever. Coach already getting 61 views 2 hours ago. Bravo. Nice. That's a lot of views for 2 hours ago, Coach. Bravo. Okay, so I'll leave it there, everyone. Remember, it's a Monday. Just trade well, have a plan, and we appreciate you being in the room. And there's never a question that's too bad. I answer everything right away. So like I said, the more